Hi, my name is Mark Scheurer. Back in 1994, I was that normal, everyday young adult living the dream, coming home from my first year of professional baseball, getting my first job as a teacher, coming into it, and then on September 10th, 1994, I get a call, I need to come home. And I got home and I found out that my father had committed suicide. It's been 22 years since, and that pain is still visible, it's still there. But like I like to tell people, being a survivor of suicide, time does heal. All wounds, all pain, but that pain is still there when you scratch the surface. I kind of, now I've been teaching now for 22 years, and I tell my kids in my classroom, I'm not sure what I want to do when I grow up. And I thought about it, and I've talked with people, I've done some talking, and what I really want to do, even though it was a joke to them, because teaching has been my passion, kids have been my passion. Part of that passion that goes with that, though, is wanting to go out and talk about being a survivor of suicide, to be able to help, because I know that I can, and I know that I have. I've talked with numerous people about being a suicide survivor. I've talked with numerous kids who have come back in one facet or another and have told me, thank you for saving my life. Without your impact, I wouldn't be here today. You can read some of the stories, some of the letters in which I've received from students in my past, that I've received from them about how I've saved their life. It's nothing that I look at as something where I hold my hat and want to brag about it, because I think it is something that is out there. We look at suicide and the term itself, and we're on eggshells about suicide. People are asking me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up. I don't have a problem in talking about it, and that's why I do want to talk about it. I think in our society today, we look at suicide and we walk on eggshells, and it's something that it is very dramatic, if you will. And we look at it as a word that, oh my God. But it's something that it's a message out there, and I think I have that message to be able to talk to people about suicide and being a survivor of suicide and helping kids through that rough patch in life, whether it be that they were bullied in life or whether it be that they went through divorce, as far as their parents being divorced, and they don't have their niche in life. They don't feel as they fit. And my biggest thing is my message is to find that passion of life. And if they can find that passion of life, or if I can find a way to show them that passion of life, then that's what I want to do. 22 years ago, my father, I didn't get that chance to tell them, or to tell him per se, that these are the things you're going to miss out on because you chose to take your life. And if I could change anything, that is the one thing I would like to do, is to go back and to be able to tell him, these are the things that you could have been instrumental in. I had a young gentleman that I got called into school late at night because they found him in a suicidal state, and they thought that I could help with my message. And the one thing that I told him, your mom's outside the door right now crying. Think what that crying is going to become if you go through with suicide, or if you're not here. I said, how is that going to be? And the one thing I think that we need to tell people when we're talking about suicide is to be able to look beyond. And I think that they get into that state where they can't look beyond. Whether it be for whatever reason it is, they become so overwhelmed or so caught up in what they're thinking at that moment that the thinking is not rational. And I think that's where they have to be able to find and to get that help for people that lives matter, and their life matters, and that passion of life matters. And that's what I want to do, is to go out and talk to the young kids about that, or whoever may need me to come and talk to them. Because you don't know until you've walked through it. I mean, we have great counselors here at school. There's probably great counselors out there everywhere. But until you've walked a mile in those shoes and to understand what something like suicide does to you, to your life, to the people that are in your life, you can imagine it, but to actually go through it and to be a part of it, there's nothing like it. I mean, when you talk to people about, yeah, I lost my father, I lost my mother, they say, but a lot of times that isn't the same. I mean, yeah, I lost my father, but my father chose to take his life. And other people who have lost parents for whatever reason it may be, it's not the same because they didn't choose to lose them. When my kids walk into my classroom, and that for 22 years now, I look at them on the first day and I go through all the scenarios that I've been through in life. I go through as far as my parents going through divorce when I was in junior high, my father committing suicide, when I was 23. I also look at him and I tell him, I have had family members fight cancer, melanoma stage 4, prostate cancer, and have survived it. Age 38, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I told him I knew I was always juvenile, but at age 38, to be diagnosed with something as such as life-altering change, I think all these things have happened to me for one reason or another, so that I can be able to relate to many different avenues that my kids in my classroom go through. And I tell them I have an open door policy. Talk to me. And I've had people come in, whether it be letters that they've written after they've gone out of high school, or people who have been out of high school call me, or kids come into my classroom just to talk. I think we live in a society where, kids don't get that opportunity to talk. And I always tell them to watch the movie Patch Adams, where Robin Williams, the irony of him actually committing suicide, but in that movie, he always tells you to talk to people. Talk to anybody. Talk to the doorman. Talk to whomever. To communicate with people. And I think communication is one thing that we look at where people are talking and there's somebody there to listen and to understand, the ramifications of suicide and how real it is in our society, and how our society, I think we look at it and know that it's a problem, but we really don't know how to deal with it, And I think the one thing that I bring that other people may not be able to bring is the fact that it's a real life happening in my life. And I've dealt with it, I've talked with kids with it, I've saved lives with it, and that's what I want to do. I want to go out and I want to be able to talk to people and have them understand that thinking about suicide and the taking of your life, are real. But the passion of life is also real. And to find that passion of life, to be able to fight off, the down times, to be able to live the good times. And in doing that, I think that my message can do that, and I know that it can do that because I've done it before. I've done it with kids, on a smaller scale, and I want to go out and talk to kids to make it a larger scale. And that's a passion I have in my life. Thank you.